I do admire the many companies, most of them social enterprises, however you choose to define that term, I do not know, that generate huge social value through what they do. But I believe that innovation is possible on a much larger scale throughout the economy if we consider it not from the angle of what a company does, but how it does it. Thanks to a very unusual group of investors, we at Just Giving, we've been allowed to experiment and innovate, not just with what we do, which we do every day, but how we do it. Everyone is a co-owner of the business and expected to act as such. There are no incentives based on bonus schemes. Instead, a proportion of our profits are shared by all. We have a flat structure with hardly any hierarchy. We strive to work in true partnerships with charities. All our profits are reinvested in the business. This is despite the fact that we are a for-profit company. But above all, above everything else, we've thrown away the rule book. We simply, trust everyone to do the right thing. And why did we make these choices? Because we believe that it brings out the best in people and therefore works best for the company. I mean, look at the normal way of doing things. When things go wrong, as they often do, as they invariably do, we in business and society, what do? What do we reach for? The answer is rules, regulations, controls, more of them, better ones, more of them again. We've all succumbed to the temptation. As companies, we try and control employees and dictate what they do and say. Charities, we want to control what our supporters say, and so it goes on and on and on ad infinitum. It's a vain delusion. The idea that we can actually control these things is an utterly vain delusion, especially in this day of the internet, which continues to make the dissemination of information the fastest the world has ever known. I mean, just ask the London Metropolitan Police about that. It is only in the absence of rules that business can get the best out of people and become truly excellent. An innovative organization does not need people who ask themselves whether they're following the rules, whether they're following the procedures. It needs people who are constantly looking for better ways of doing things and constantly challenging what's been done before. And how that's achieved is actually quite difficult, to be honest, difficult to articulate, because in truth, it is difficult. It's very subtle. And I'll try and summarize what we've been doing at Just Giving. We aim to have honest conversations with each other, difficult ones. We aim to constantly debate how to serve our customers better. And far from being soft and quirky, ours is a tough and rigorous environment where decisions are made on facts, not on egos, and innovation happens without fear of failure. But these things can only emerge when you trust each other. We do not even have, wait for this, an org chart. And I'm often asked, how can you possibly not have an organizational chart? And we say, what would we want one for? We work in teams. We work in project teams. The teams form, the teams dissolve, depending on the projects. Some teams are more permanent than others. But an org chart is useless. What matters is the job at hand that needs to get done. And effective teams are made up of people who are self-motivated and keep each other accountable. And believe me, that is very, very difficult. Because this means that everyone in the team, the person you're going to have a drink with that evening, the person you go out with at weekends, is holding you accountable, not so-called managers. Management and leadership comes with experience. It's there to provide direction. It's there to provide guidance and to hold people accountable when teams fail to do so. This sounds simple, but as I've said, it's very difficult in practice because challenge requires courage, and most of us are conditioned by culture and education to be compliant rather than questioning, especially at work. But when people feel themselves to be highly accountable for what they contribute, when they're to be called to account by their peers for any shortcomings, when people are motivated by a deep sense of involvement in what they're doing and purpose, not because they've been told what to do or given the authority to do it. That's when they perform to the best of their abilities, out of respect for and commitment to their team, to their customers, to their shareholders. Where they have a meaningful say in the business, regardless of the nature of the job they do not need to be told what to do.